Hello, my name is Pascal Ennaert and I am the coordinator of the Flemish Art Collection. The Flemish Art Collection is an umbrella organization for the fine arts museums in Flanders, the Royal Museum for Fine Arts in Antwerp, the Bruges Museums, the Museum for Fine Arts in Ghent, Museum Im in Louvain and Musée in Ostend. The fine arts museums of the city of Antwerp, the Museum Meijer van den Berg and the Rubenshaus, are also partners of our organization. The policy we try to introduce in the museum field is an open policy, which consists in convincing the museums to deliver open data, open images, and open source applications. Luckily, of course, we have the old masters. There are no discussions about them being in the public domain. Oh, what is this? I got this picture from the Lucas website and unfortunately I had to complete this form. Can anyone explain me why this picture has a Creative Commons license with attribution, non-commercial and no derivatives statement? Van Eyck died in 1441. His work has never been under copyright law. It should be public domain. Of course, there's a reason why. Many old school museums and institutions think images are an important source of income. They think that images are big money. But where's the proof for all of this? Last year, in response to the Bruegel year, we have published a website on Peter Bruegel the Elder. As you probably all know, there are more works of Bruegel outside of our country than in Belgium. So we were dependent on the goodwill of museums from around the world. As those museums are important partners to mount up future exhibitions, we didn't want to offend the museums, and for that, we wanted to respect the conditions the museums gave us to show reproductions on our website. This is the Dulle Griet from the Antwerp City Museum Meijer van den Berg. As you can see, they delivered us the picture with a public domain notification, and they asked us to voluntarily give attribution to the museum and Kikirpa, who apparently made the picture. And they delivered a picture in an acceptable resolution. But not all museums did so. We've asked for reproductions of Bruegel's works from 44 museums or institutions, and we've got 22 different kinds of copyright indications for an artist that died 450 years ago. 7 museums didn't care to deliver. Only 5 museums delivered a clear CC0 or public domain license. Half of the museums delivered the most heavy Creative Commons license, CCC, by non-commercial, no derivatives or share alike. Several museums use the copyright sign together with a Creative Commons license. Despite, my dear colleagues, most of the European museums have to comply to the Public Sector Information Directive on open data, despite the new copyright directive that facilitates the sharing of public domain artworks. Why is it that in the mindset of some museum directors, the museum is still an art historical cave of Alibaba? Why do they think museum professionals and museum professionals alone can decide if an art historical research is done well, if a publication is okay and deserves the museum's collection images? Hopefully, and I'm pretty sure it is, this is a generational problem. The more younger museum professionals are coming in, the more the museum is convinced that knowledge and digitized pictures should be as open as possible. But I agree, sometimes there may be good reasons to temporarily not give free digitized images. The emphasis here must lay on temporarily. I'll come back to that further on. In November 2011, Europeana published an eye-opening study of Harry Verwaayen and others, which main message was that on the internet There are that much of low-quality pictures of artworks in museum collections, they should better give away the digitized pictures under an open license themselves. Museums like the Rijksmuseum have put up a whole new business model on these open images. The gain is in the derivative products, not in the digitized photographs. Another eye-opening study was the one from Andrea Wallace. She mounted up a research-led exhibition experiment featuring digital surrogates of public domain works of art produced by cultural heritage institutions of international repute. Doing this, Andrea Wallace issued a number of concerns. By printing the digital surrogate to the work's original dimensions, she invited reflection on the nature and the quality of the reproductions that institutions make available online. She questioned the meaning of concepts such as access, transparency, and user engagement. She questioned the validity of the authorial claims that institutions assert over digital surrogates that are often viewed as new and independent assets. What opened eyes within the Flemish art collection museums was the metaphor of hostage taking. Why are we keeping more than 99% of our collection as a hostage, while not even 1% of our collection generates income? But what really stands out is the example of the most renowned museums worldwide. The Rijksmuseum, the Metropolitan Museum, the Getty Museum, they all opened up their collections for free downloads. When many renowned museums deliver high-quality images under an open license, there is more peer pressure to persuade others to join this practice. And new technologies, standards, and practices let us see that sharing collections is opening a window of opportunities, also for conservators and curators. Open images are creating opportunities for art historians, for researchers, and for the public. By sharing content, you can gain knowledge and become more visible. Nevertheless, referring to a previous remark, there may be good reasons to temporarily not provide free digitized reproductions of public domain works. This is a screenshot from the recently installed DAM system from the Royal Museum of Fine Arts in Antwerp. As you can see, the museum defined 4 access levels in which the museum registrator can decide to clear the picture only for internal use, for academic use, for use by museums and other institutions, or for public use. But the goal in the long end is clear: openness for everyone, also for the public. Early 2019, all these insights helped me to convince the board of directors of the Flemish Fine Arts Museums to accept a mutual common position paper in which they agree to give away reproductions of public domain artworks with a public domain or CC0 license. We also informed the several organizing powers, which all are public governments, and no one opposed. What is free of copyright in the analog world must be free in the digital world also. I can assure you, from the museum director who told me 15 years ago he didn't want any technology whatsoever in his museum because it would distract the visitors, until the Flemish Fine Art Museums joining forces to open their collections, it was quite a disruptive path. But as I have illustrated, many museums haven't taken that part. I hope there will be one day. Open glam museums are like an armada of white paper planes flying information. And old school museums will be ugly orange planes flying on their own. To achieve this, I wanted to introduce to you following questions. What can we do as curators and conservators to convince our board of directors and our colleagues in commercial and other departments to open up our digitized collections? Which examples of good practice can be shown to make our point? What opportunities do you see in the free exchange of photographic reproductions? Thanks for listening and hope to see you soon in a non-virtual environment.